Some things go hand in hand, like trust and the name you know. At Poudre Valley REA, your trust rests with the people behind the name, the ones who stand by every promise made and every member served, the people who show up, no matter the hour, no matter the conditions, there through the night, at dawn's first light, and alongside the communities we call home. Rooted in value, defined by purpose, we deliver the lowest electric rates in Colorado, proving affordability and reliability can stand side by side. For 87 years, we've powered more than homes and businesses. We've powered opportunity. The next generation's moving forward. With dependable service, predictable costs, and people you can count on when it matters most. Because this isn't just power, it's a promise. Neighbors helping neighbors, standing strong through every storm. Proven in the past, trusted today, ready for what's next. For our communities across northern Colorado, Poudre Valley REA is the co-op you can count on.
Thank you. Good morning again. My name is Amy Rozier, and I'm the Vice President of Member and Government Relations here at Poudre Valley REA. And again, just a very warm welcome to all of you. It's so great to see a lot of familiar faces as well as some new ones. But to start things off this morning, we would like to take a moment to ask any veterans, active duty military members, and those currently serving to please stand so we can thank you for your service and sacrifices. And now we're going to ask everyone to please stand as the Northridge High School Marine Corps JROTC presents the colors and leads us with the Pledge of Allegiance. Then they will be followed by the national anthem by the choir from Ascent Classical Academy of Northern Colorado.
twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Wow, that was awesome. Thank you very much. That was the choir from Ascent Classical Academy of Northern Colorado. And also thank you to the Northridge High School Marine Corps Junior ROTC. Thank you very much. You can be seated if you have. And now at this time, I would like to invite Brian Ehrlich, your board vice chair, to the stage for the invocation and a special tribute to Poudre Valley REA as we celebrate 87 years of serving Northern Colorado.
For those who care to join, would you please bow your heads? Father God, we come before you to ask for blessing and to ask for wisdom and understanding, Lord, as we lead forward into this organization. Scripture says where two or more are gathered, you are there. Well, there's two or more here, but what we are, Lord, is a community. And we come before you as a community. Maybe we don't know everybody in this community, but we're all connected through one thing, and that thing is a miracle of electric service. Lord, we just ask your blessing and your favor and grace on those who work on the lines, those who are in the offices taking care of customers, those who are designing, operating, and leadership, and the board of directors. Lord, we just ask that you please bless them and keep them protected and travel and safe, and protect everybody here at this meeting as they travel to and from. And Lord, we just we ask that you continue to bless this organization and this utility, for we know that it's not darkness that ceases the light. It is light that extinguishes the darkness. Lord, we thank you for the meal. We thank you for the hands that provided it, and we thank you for the means to provide it. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. In just a few short months, our nation will celebrate a significant milestone. 2.5 centuries ago, ordinary individuals dared to believe that freedom, self-governance, and a shared responsibility would serve as a tinder for a new flame of liberty. On July 4th, 1776, a new nation was proposed, not for crowns or command, not for tyrants or titles, but conceived and dedicated to a country by and for the people, united by need, strengthened by service, and sustained by the unshakable bond of community. For 250 years, we have poured our heart, sweat, blood, and tears into the promise of America. And generation after generation, we shaped that dream into reality. Roads and rails, schools and cities, farms and factories, and above all, the enduring hope that people, free people, united, can do great things. America's greatness is proven by what we've achieved and built together. Our cooperative is one shining testament born of that same belief that when neighbors unite, the future grows bright. Across a vast and sweeping history of America, certain moments rise above time, when actions define courage and conviction, when words spoken with humanity and hope remind us of who we are and and of those around us. It was 77 years ago that after our nation's birth, in the rolling hills of Pennsylvania, when Abraham Lincoln addressed Gettysburg. The guns had gone quiet, yet the meaning of the struggle had not. And a nation looked for words worthy of the fallen and equal to the task ahead. In his brief and measured message, Lincoln sanctified the sacrifices made, renewed our nation's founding promises, and called America forward together. As we mark 87 years of this cooperative, we pause to reaffirm the values of those that guided us from the beginning. Neighbors answering each other's call, being there for one another when it matters most, a steadfast commitment that unites us through every storm and every season. So with all reverence we say, 77 years ago, our forefathers brought forth to this region a new utility, conceived in necessity, and dedicated to the proposition that all members are created equal. We take increased commitment, and here I highly resolve that those visionaries of this cooperative be honored, carrying their perseverance ahead so that what we hold in trust shall long endure, and the freedoms we share continue lighting our way for generations to come, and that this cooperative utility shall carry a vision forward, and that the cooperative model of the members, by the members, and for the members shall not perish from this earth. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Okay, now we're just going to move on to introduce your board of directors. First off, we have Pete Highland, who is your board chair. Then, of course, we have Brian Ehrlich, who you just heard from. He is the board vice chair. We have our board secretary, Thane Mickey. Then we have director Steve Anderson. We have director Cheryl Dreyer Henderson. Director Rick Johnson. Director Jan Peterson. Director Jack Schneider. And Director Ron Sutherland. And next, we want to take a moment to introduce to you our President and CEO, Jeff Wadsworth. You'll be hearing from him shortly. And last but not least, our corporate attorney, Mike Westbrook. We do have a few special guests in the audience that we want to take a moment to recognize. We have Larimer County Commissioner John Kafalis, representing District 1. Larimer County Commissioner Jody Shattuck Manali, representing District 3, and she is the board chair. And we also have our board of director candidates in the audience. So District L, position L4, is Rick Johnson. District L, position L5, is Brian Ehrlich. And then District BW, position BW1, and that's from Boulder or Weld County, we have Bob Chellin and Terry Willis. And just one or two more quick announcements before I hand this mic over. On your tables, you will find some surveys. You know, we always want to make sure that the experience you have with us is the best it can be. So we'll encourage you to fill those out. or if you have any general questions, you can write that down as well, and someone from our team will get back to you. Now, once we kick off the meeting, we are going to be moving pretty quickly, so we'll ask that you hold the questions to the end when our board of directors and employee team will be here to answer any questions. So now, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. It is time to welcome our board chair up to the stage to take things over. Let's give him a big round of applause. Pete Highland.
Well, it's quite an honor. Thank you for everybody coming. Hey, Tony, before I start though, my friend, since you're the official prize drawer, I was given that table 26 would like to win a prize, as well as table 107. 107, my friends at 107, come on, a little, obviously they can't hear. Okay, so would you, if you, oh, it's about time. So it's, hopefully you pick them, Tony, but we'll see what can happen. Also, before we start the meeting, did everybody get one of their beautiful bags? Isn't that nice? I think Poudre Valley is really optimistic to give a rain gauge. Unfortunately, they didn't put any water in mine. So here's to everybody getting some moisture, whether it's rain or snow. So thank you, Poudre Valley, for being optimistic and giving everybody a rain dance. Hopefully, too, everybody got out to see the vendors, the wildlife habitat people, the electric car people, PVREA, as well as some others. But certainly the favorites of mine are the rodeo queens. This one's from Weld County. This is Addison. So Addison Gregory, thank you, and good luck with your rodeo season. And again, everybody got their mug, right? Because that's pretty cool. Well, congratulations to the winners that have been announced so far. Registration is now closed, and we will draw the grand prize winner for the $3,000 vacation voucher. So Tony, if you would, sir. Tony, I'll let you draw that, put that in the hermetically sealed envelope, bring it up for me, and I'll continue at this time. So if everybody's ready, at this time I would like to call the 2026 annual meeting of the Poudre Valley REA Electric Association membership to order. Thank you, sir. Mr. Westbrook, the attorney, do we have a quorum today at today's meeting to conduct business? If so, would you please explain the process for all of us?
Thank you, Chair Highland. Yes, we do have a quorum to elect directors and conduct business. The election is now closed, and the results will be announced later this morning.
Great. Thank you, and good luck to all you candidates. It's an important process. We have a great board. It's very cohesive, and we'll be excited to have whoever gets selected to join our board. We've got a lot of good, important work to do. Thank you, Mr. Westbrook. We will read the minutes from last year's meeting unless there is a motion to dispense with the reading. Can I ask for a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes, because you really don't want me to read them since my copy is in pictures. I have one over here from table 35. I have a first. Can I get a second? Thank you. All those in favor of dispense of reading the minutes, say aye. Aye. I like that. Anybody opposed? Great. Motion passes. Thank you very, very much. If there was, I didn't hear it, so thank you. As we continue with our program with the chair's report, I just want to reflect on one of the ways that Poudre Valley REA continues to be the co-op that you can count on. See, you see the tie-in on the mug? Counting on the co-op you can count on. When people think about electric utilities, they often think about poles and wires. And yes, that's a big part of what we do. You see them in your yards and along your streets. But at Poudre Valley REA, we're fundamentally different from other types of utilities. As you heard from Board Member Ehrlich's talk, it's about the community, it's about the people that we have, both our fellow employees and staff, but mostly the members. It's all about you guys. We're not owned by shareholders in some distant city. We're owned by the people in this room and your neighbors. The decisions that we make are guided by local values, shaped by local needs, and carried out by people who live and work here in the community. Being a member of Poudre Valley REA isn't just about receiving service, it's about being part of the community. It's making sure this organization continues to be one that our members, you, can depend on, not just for reliable service, but for something deeper: consistency, accountability, and a genuine commitment to community. You will hear about the commitment throughout this meeting, but one of the most important, meaningful aspects is through our scholarship program. Ethan, would you join me up here for just a second? Come on up, I'm ready for you. This is where our purpose really comes to life. It's how we invest in people and create opportunities across our service territory. Each year, we provide $53,000 in continuing education scholarships to member students because we believe that strengthening our community starts with supporting in them. And this morning, I'd like to recognize somebody who brings that scholarship into focus. Ethan Wiltis, correct? Willits, I apologize. Ethan is the 2025 scholarship recipient pursuing a degree in pre-health chemistry. We'll ask him quickly to give us the 20-second elevator speech of what pre-health chemistry is all about. He's also a longtime member of Poudre Valley REA. Ethan grew up in Johnstown, attending our annual meetings, participating in youth programs, and has even represented Poudre Valley REA in the youth leadership camp. Ethan, give us 20 seconds and tell us what's up.
Hi there, everyone. My name's Ethan Willits, like you said. I go to UNC, and I'm a pre-health chemistry major. I've been in the REA since longer than I can remember, to be honest, and I have really fond memories of coming here as a kid, watching all the demonstrations, going on the cherry picker and stuff. We still have that?
We still have that.
We still have that. Yeah, that's good stuff. If your kids haven't gone out, they should go on that. But the scholarship and the camp both have really helped me grow in leadership and got me a lot more resources and opportunities to give back to the community. And I really appreciate everything that the REA has done for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Ethan. Thank you. Nice job. Yeah, you're good. What truly stands out is that Ethan has chosen to serve others. Ethan has volunteered with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, mentored fellow students, supported local programs, and spent time caring for residents in nursing homes. Ethan, on behalf of the board, Poudre Valley REA, I want to thank you for your service to your community. Again, Ethan, thank you. This serves as a wonderful example for what is possible when the cooperative invests in the community it serves. It's just not about electricity, it's about people. It's about being there, steadfast, local, dependable, for the communities that we proudly serve. Thank you at this time, and I'd like to welcome our President and CEO, Jeff Wadsworth, to the stage. Jeff's going to continue with this wonderful story. Mr. Wadsworth.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful, awesome spring morning. We definitely need that moisture. When spring comes around, one of my favorite things about spring is it's just a time for new. It's new beginnings of what that looks like. And, I stood up here last year and several years too as well. And to me, the new beginnings start with the Colorado Rockies. Because yes, the Rockies are going to win the World Series. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. We got to put it out there. If we don't say it, it's not going to happen. The Avs are going to win. The Nuggets are going to win. The Broncos, we'll see what happens with the Broncos. But the Rockies, it's going to be their year. So on behalf of all the employees, if you're new, a special welcome to you. But if you've been here and you continue to be here, thank you for your support and coming out to what I think is one of the greatest things about the co-op, of members doing fellowship with each other and celebrating what I believe, and I am our biggest cheerleader, I will tell you right now, the best co-op in the United States, and we're going to talk about what that looks like, about being the co-op you can count on. And that starts with governance and our board of directors, and it starts with our employee team. And it's all, as our chair said, it's all about you. It's about our members. Our mission is pure. We're focused on that. And today, this morning, I get to talk about a little bit about what that looks like and how that plays out in northern Colorado. So let's see if I can get this, the clicker to work here. Boom. If not, maybe I'll go like this and the slides will just move. Boom. All right, so I'm going to start off with a question. Why are you here? Why are you here? Are you here for the fellowship that I talked about? Check. Are you here for the amazing breakfast that you get to get? Probably check, yes. Now, I'm sure a few of you are here for the door prizes. Probably double check on that. But I like to think that the reason you're here, whether you've been here for your first time or many times, is because you believe in what the co-op is and what that looks like. And when we work together, there's so much division, and there has been in this country for a long time, and there just has. Our country started in division. We're in it right now. But this co-op, we come together, and that's what it looks like when Americans come together, and we get to talk about that. I like to think maybe a few of you maybe are here for this great update. I look over towards my better half, my wife, she's shaking her head no. She told me a long time ago, she's like, don't be nervous. They're really not here to listen to you, just so you know. You know, your job is to hurry up and get done so they can hurry up and get their door prizes. So definitely a lot of wisdom there. So with that, I want to talk about how we are the co-op you can count on and what that looks like. All right, there we go. The co-op you can count on. What is that? And I get to unpack that a little bit. And to start off with, I want to talk about how we're rooted in value. Yes, you guys are get this every single time. Ready, Sam? Boom. Rooted in value. And what does that mean? That means that growth pays for itself. Growth pays for growth. There's a lot of talk, and understandably so, in northern Colorado about the growth that is taking place. Not only in the subdivisions, in the commercial and industrial, and the oil and gas sector, and yes, the data center sector. And I will tell you, I can't talk about anything else outside of the data center sector except what we do, how we handle that, or what our focus is. And what that looks like is growth will pay for itself. And I'm going to illustrate what that looks like and how that lives out in your rates. So I can tell you it's a commitment of your board of directors and as well as the staff, and this is something that's been a legacy of Poudre Valley, to continue to ensure that growth pays for growth. So just know that when you hear about data centers, whatever that looks like, other places in the country, or maybe other places in the state, whatever that looks like, for us, we're going to ensure that gets stood up. It can actually be a benefit for all of us. Again, I'm not going to get into other aspects of data centers, whatever that may look like. I just want to make sure everyone in this room is aware of that we're going to make sure that growth pays for growth, everything in our power. There's external forces talking about that. I'm going to talk about how you can help with that to ensure that we can continue to provide that low-cost power for you and how you can contribute to that when I get to the end here. But just know that growth pays for growth. And what does that look like? Well, what that looks like is a huge, significant difference in our rates. We mentioned in the open video that we have the lowest residential rate in the state. Something we're incredibly proud of. We're competing against investor-owned utilities that have billions of dollars. We're competing against munis that have, a little bit of infrastructure to serve a significant amount of meters. We have a lot of infrastructure to serve. We have a good amount of meters, but not that many in the grand scheme of things. And you can look at what that difference is. I mean, that is an awesome thing to look at. And then now if we move forward to the next slide, we can actually see what that looks like in terms of our percentage of what we've had. You can see at a national, the inflation rate and the average US rate, how much that has gone up since 2017. And really, it started in 2020, 2021. The reason we like to show 2017 is you can see we're flat. You can see we dipped down as well, and we also moved up. A big part of that, though, too, as well as our focus on affordability, is we have leaned into our G&T, which you'll hear next from Tri-State. And Tri-State has done a good job of keeping those rates stable, and we continue to focus on that as we move forward. And you can see this last year we had a 3% increase. Not what we wanted to have. Our goal as staff, we want to have a decrease. And you can see we actually did. We had decreases. Who has decreases? We did. Now, if I look into the future, are we going to have decreases? Highly unlikely. I'm just going to tell you it's highly unlikely. Are we going to have increases? Highly likely. But I will tell you this much. Our increases, when we look on the future, are going to be much less than what others are saying. And we are focused on that. We are focused to making sure that we're doing everything we possibly can to keep that hard-earned money into your pocketbook. And what does that look like as we compare to the other utilities across the state? Well, you can see what that looks like. I mean, that is an amazing difference right there. And I just want to do a big round of applause for all the employee team and the board for being able to see what that looks like. So please join me in that round. Yeah. I mean, that is a huge difference sitting up there. And you can see from where we're at compared to where an investor-owned utility at as well, too. I'm not going to use that name. I'm not. But how do we compare ourselves if we look at from where we're at in terms of the value of your membership to that investor-owned utility? You save $110 a month on average, the average residential member. And from there, you're saving over $1,300. $1,300! That's real money that you get to use into the local economy, to your family, to support what that looks like. That is an awesome, awesome savings, something we take great pride in and something we're going to continue to do as we move forward with that. So that is a great thing to be able to share, and it's definitely something we take great pride in as we look towards the future of what that looks like. We actually think that delta difference is going to continue to get bigger. So that's how we're doing when it comes to rooted in terms of the value that we're bringing. Now moving forward into looking towards really reliability, how we're steady through every season. And what steady through every season looks like is the great men and women at Poudre Valley REA. Now, we don't go about, and I know there's been much talk about, and I never get it right because I never want to say it, because that's not what we do, but public power shutoffs. We do not do public power shutoffs. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not focused in what we're doing to ensure, because we live here, we don't want anything to happen to our communities. We don't. We do not want anything to happen. So we do put, when those high wind events that come through, we do put our system up in the foothills and in certain areas into very sensitive settings, so that way if it experiences something, there is going to be an outage. But we don't turn off entire feeders in the entire region. That's just not what we do. That's not in our DNA. When the lights go out, we want to turn the power back on. It's something that we're super focused on, and we have invested in, and your board has made that a strategic mission to improve our reliability, and that has lived out. I've talked to several of the members here, and they've noticed that too as well. And what does that look like from an improved reliability standpoint of where we're at? We're in the top quartile when it comes to reliability. And what that looks like is that we have 44% fewer outages as a nation, from a nationwide average. So your peers across the street in the utility that shall not be named, I will share with you, probably have a little bit more than 44% than we are. So we're doing much better than them. And our response time with our awesome linemen and our awesome operations team, using technology and meters and everything that looks like, we're able to respond and get your power back on 31% quicker than the national average. That's something we take great pride in, again, of what we do, and it's something I think that stands out of how we're the co-op you can count on. Now, we're not just talking about, I talked about affordability and reliability. Now if we move on to what we're doing in other areas, and we're branching out. We're just not just focused, and we're branching out to make sure that there's areas that also help with affordability and reliability, and we're branching out in a local level. And what that looks like are several projects. I'm not going to spend a full amount of time on every single one of these, but I will tell you, certainly on our website, tons of information. Our Call to Country Life, please read that if you get that. We do that. You either get it via the U.S. snail mail, which I like to actually get the hard copy and read that, certainly electronically as well. But battery storage, we're leading into that. We have many multiple batteries already deployed on our system. Behind the meter, we're looking to utility scale as well. And when we do all these things, I will tell you, we're doing it through a lens of affordability and reliability. We're not just doing it just to have fun and be mad scientists. We're doing it because we're making sure that it meets those two core components, affordability and reliability. Microgrids. We have one up in Red Feather. We're actively looking to put one up in Livermore, and actually working on one up there at the school, and certainly want to give a shout out to Larimer County and the commissioners for their support on us as we move forward in developing those microgrids. It's a really meaningful project, which includes batteries, which includes solar, and includes a propane generator. What that looks like is when there are those outages that do happen in the mountain areas, there's a central hub for those community members to go to down by Livermore. And we're excited that's likely to be energized here in June. Community solar, we really lead the nation in community solar. This is going to be our fourth one we're going to stand up. It's going to be out in the Greeley area, and appreciate the work with the town of Greeley in order to get that done. And you'll see more on that and how you can subscribe to that, so that way you don't have to have that solar on your house, whatever it may be. You don't have to maintain it. I'm not saying you shouldn't. You can do that if you want. We definitely support that. But we definitely are looking towards the community solar aspect as well. We are investing as well in a wind farm in eastern Colorado, which is going to be very significant. It's going to help lower our rates. Now, I want to be clear. The wind doesn't always blow, as everyone knows. And sometimes it blows so dang hard, those wind turbines, we don't want them turning either. So we're going to make sure that that base load generation is always there and what that looks like, and we're always on. But that wind is definitely a price component for us that's going to save us millions every year, which we're going to pass on to you. We're not in this for us. We're in this for you. That's what we're in this as a not-for-profit co-op. Then lastly, rebates that we offer. I would say if you want to do electric lawn equipment, chainsaws, whatever, if you want a rebate, you may want to get in this year. I have a feeling next year we may not offer. I'll just share with you because they're becoming so widespread. When you go there, instead of buying the traditional, everyone's moving already to those rebates. But heat pumps, you name it, that's out on our website and our app too in terms of the rebates that we have. So moving on in terms of, just to kind of conclude, of where we're sitting at, of what that looks like for you. We take a survey, and it's something that we take, again, great pride in, because we want to see how we're doing. We want to be the best of the best. We're just not okay with being okay. The group and the team we have, we strive to be the best and best every single day and every single thing that we do. It matters to us. It deeply matters to every single employee at Poudre Valley. And I can't tell you that enough. It does. I'm not just saying that. It does. It shows. Our culture, because of the bottom up, is amazing. That culture is great despite of me. I'll share it with you. They make me, I got to stand up here and talk. They do such an amazing job. And it lives out when we look at this. So an ACSI score, it's American Customer Satisfaction Index, they look at all different industries of where we're sitting at. They look at restaurants, they look at airlines that you can see, internet service providers. They look at all different types of industries, but they also look at the utility industry. And you can see from a national average where electric co-ops, well, we're a little bit better at a national than the munis and of course the IOUs. But for us, we scored a 92. It's a 92 out of 100. We're one of the top scoring electric utilities and one of the top scoring co-ops in the nation. And again, that is a testament to the employee team and something we're really proud of. And we want to hear how we can do better. We're not perfect. We know that. We strive to be better every single day that we come into work. It's an honor to serve you. It's an honor to be part of this co-op. And I think you believe it's great to be part of this co-op too. And that's where I'm going to conclude back where I started. So why are you here? I hope you're here as well to ensure all those great things we talked about continue on. But we need your help. We desperately need your help. I was sitting around with a good friend of mine who was a CEO at a G&T up in North Dakota. Very large G&T. And he's a member of ours now. And he told me, yeah, there was a group that was sitting around, a couple group, and they were having dinner, and they all talked about how they just feel like they can't be impactful, that they can't make a difference like they used to be able to do, and what that looked like. And they all talked about that. And I asked them, I said, well, you know about our cooperative voices, right? Our grassroots effort? And he said, yes. And I said, well, are you engaged with that when we ask for help? And he said, yes. And I said, well, did you go a step further? Did you ask that the couples you were eating dinner with, who are also members, are they part of the cooperative voices? No. Well, we need your help. There's legislation, regulation, different things that we see coming down the road that's going to increase our costs, and it potentially could increase our costs significantly. There's also, we saw legislation that was actually going to be a hazard to our linemen from a safety perspective. And that is simply not okay. I mean, we were literally told by a legislator, oh, the linemen will figure it out. Really? Wow. We need your help. So right now we have about 1,200 people signed up for Cooperative Voices. When we did the call to action, this last one, we had, I think, a little north of 200 be part of that. What we need to see, we have almost 60,000 meters, services. What we need to see is 50,000 cooperative voices signed up for that. And when we do a call to action, we need to see 30,000 people communicating with those legislators. You do have a voice. There's two things that matter that we're finding out in politics to make a big influence. Certainly at a national level and at a state level, perhaps in some degree, not so much at a local level at all. But money, and we don't have that because all the money goes to you. We're not spending money on that. That's our focus. But voices, we need to be communicating with our legislators, and we have that opportunity to be able to do that, both at a federal and state side, when we're seeing those things that are going to impact our safety, our affordability, and our reliability. So the ask here, and of course you're at our annual meeting, so we're going to give you something in order, it's a giveaway too. We got these great buckets, these cooperative voice buckets, that when you leave here, we're asking at your table, there should be cards for you to sign up. Even if you've signed up before, it's okay. Sign up again. Even if you're a student and you're not even 18, sign up. Your voice matters. It does. Please fill that out, and as you walk out, there'll be buckets out there that you get to drop that card in there. We don't bombard you with the email, too. I just want to be that clear. You're probably going to get maybe 2, maybe 3, 4 emails a year from us. Some years you may only get 1. But when you do see those emails, look at them. And if there's a call to action, please consider it. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But consider it. If you need more information, call into our office. We'd love to be able to talk about why we're asking for that. It's easy to do. It's simple. It magnifies our voices. We need to magnify our voices. Back in 1938, 37, 39, when these co-ops were being formed around this nation, our voices were magnified. Rural America was magnified. This is our chance to do this again. Please be part of that. We want to lead the nation of what this looks like. When you sign up, you very well could end up getting maybe a t-shirt next year out of this too as well. I'd love to see red, white, and blue Poudre Valley REA t-shirts, and we all go down to the State House and we make a difference. We can make a difference. Now we could continue on and just live life that we're doing, but this is worth fighting for. What we have is worth fighting for. So I just ask you, please consider signing up for those cooperative voices. And with that, I just want to close and say thank you so much for allowing us to serve you. Thank you so much for believing in this co-op. We're going to do the right thing. We want to do the right thing always. And sometimes if we make a mistake, let us know. I could promise you we're not doing it on purpose. We want to do the right thing for the right reason. We're here for service. On behalf of all the employees, thank you so much, and thank you for listening. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to my good friend, Mr. Bob Frankmore from Tri-State G&T, who's going to give a brief update on our wholesale provider. Bob, thank you again for listening.
Thank you. And brief, he means 45 minutes, so I'll get started right away. But I do want to echo Cooperative Voices. It's a great program, and I really hope everybody will sign up today. My role is Chief of Staff at Tri-State. I often get asked, what does the Chief of Staff do? And my response usually is, I don't know, but if you find out, please tell me. So I do lead government relations. I lead communications team. I lead a wonderful member relations team, and I also do strategy. And really what that does is it allows me to work with the folks, not only in this room, but the board of Poudre Valley. I want to thank them for allowing me to come up and speak and actually get back up to northern Colorado. I went to the Harvard of the West, which all of you know is Colorado State University. Go Rams, all right? But it's always good to get back up here. And, I do want to thank a couple of folks, starting with Thane Mitchie. He sits on our Tri-State board. He represents this board very well and you all very well at the Tri-State board table. His experience in the utility industry and the water industry is invaluable. And I know fellow directors on our board of directors really look to him as a leader and also as a voice of expertise. Also want to thank Jeff, like he said, dear friend, mentor, my guiding light many days. Jeff and I text quite often, but you should know that Jeff is also a leader, not only at Poudre Valley, not only in the community, but across the state. He is seen by his peers as someone who comes with solutions, not only for Poudre Valley, but the rest of our membership and for Tri-State. And I do appreciate all he does and the good work he does. But I have this long speech, and literally Jeff stole all my thunder because, and it's not by accident, right? Tri-State is a co-op. Our board members are our members, just like you're all in here. So we are aligned. And so when we look at things on what's important to us, what's our mission, we start with reliability, affordability, flexibility, responsibility. And very much everything Jeff just said, that's what we're focusing on too. When it comes to reliability, we know the challenges it is when the lights go off. So we're going to build and we're going to continue to invest in a system that not only can withstand some of the strongest winds, but also when the sun's not shining or the wind's not blowing, we have enough power to make sure the lights stay on. We also have resources and people, so when the lights do go off, because things happen, but we can respond quickly. And I love Jeff's stat on how fast we respond. If it's not your lines, it's our lines. We're going to have people out there. And what's great about the cooperative model and that you're an owner of Tri-State is that we'll work together too. Our folks will work hand in hand with the Poudre Valley folks and vice versa. And obviously, affordability is very close second. We know the challenges rural America and all of you in here face as prices increase on everything, whether it's fuel or TV costs or cell phones. But what's different about Tri-State is our members also pay any rate increases, right? Our members are members too. And that makes them they hold us accountable. So while we will have rate increases, as Jeff mentioned, we can be assured that they're going to be the lowest level that are possible because our board members require it, because they're going to pay those rate increases too. Next, we talk about flexibility, and what does that mean? Well, as rates go up, we want you to have programs that are out there. Jeff mentioned quite a few, whether it's batteries or building systems. We want to make sure we're working hand in hand, designing programs that allow you to reduce your costs voluntarily if you want. And Jeff and Poudre Valley Board have been very active in designing those programs and very helpful in making sure that those programs not only work for Tri-State, they work for other members and work for all of you. And lastly, we focus on responsibility to the environment, responsibility to the communities that we serve, and also responsibility to our employees. So I want to just kind of close out here is, it's important to note that the cooperative model relies on an engagement of its members. And the Tri-State, we are no different. And the Poudre Valley Board, Jeff, Thane, all of them provide you a very strong voice at Tri-State, and we will continue to focus on things that matter to you, including delivering reliable, affordable, flexible, and responsible energy. With that, I will stop. Is that 42 minutes I got that under? And by the way, I'm not as optimistic about the Rockies, but I am optimistic about the CSU Ram football team. So Jeff, if you want to make a little bet, you're on. Thank you, everybody.
Some of us didn't go to the Harvard of the West. Some of us went to the Harvard of the San Juans. So all of us that have graduated or at least attended Fort Lewis College, would you please stand up and give yourself a round of applause? Well, that covers it. Only 3 people went. All right. That's great. Bob, thank you. And before I bring up Tom, let me read. So on your table, there are these grassroots cards, and as Jeff explained, it's extremely important that when we get legislation possibly out of Denver that we may or may not agree with, it's important that they get to hear your voice. And here is a prototype of the beautiful bucket. So as you leave, fill out those cards, and we'll have a bucket for you outside. At this time, I would like to bring up Tom Walsh, who is the Executive Director of our state organization, the Colorado Rural Electrification Association. So, Tom, if you would join us, sir. Wow, you disappeared. Good luck.
Wow, what a gathering. And I tell you, Poudre Valley REA is it's a well-oiled machine. Other than the clicker, everything is just going off as smoothly as it can. And even when Jeff walked up to shake my hand before the meeting started, it cued the band to start playing Friends in Low Places. And I may not be that low, but I tell you what, Poudre Valley sure is elevated. You guys are a fantastic organization. You know, last evening I was watching the splashdown of the Artemis, and I saw how everybody at NASA, everybody on the recovery ship, the way they work together, the energy and the enthusiasm and the pride that they took in the mission that they accomplished. And I saw a lot of that today when I was walking up to the meeting. The Poudre Valley REA employees, you could see it. You could see it in the way they acted. You could see the pride in their organization. And they absolutely, it's not a shock to me that I see those results that Jeff talked about. And I just want to tell you a little bit. That, you know, safety is foundational. Jeff helped teach me that. I used to be in a job similar to his. I was the CEO out at Grand Valley Power out in Grand Junction before I took the CREA job earlier this year. You know, and safety is absolutely foundational. But after that, what matters most is the members. And when you, that ASCI score, that member satisfaction score that Poudre Valley has accomplished, they are in the top 1% of co-ops across the nation. And it's something that every one of you members should be incredibly proud of. And I'll tell you, the employees own that. That is the accomplishment of the team members of Poudre Valley REA. But I'll tell you also that that doesn't happen by accident. It happens with leadership, and that leadership comes from Jeff Wadsworth and the board of Poudre Valley REA. Not only should the employees be proud, every one of you members should be proud of what your organization has done. Now, I'm the wet behind the ears executive director of the Colorado Rural Electric Association. You know, if anybody as old as me can be wet behind the ears anymore. But CREA is the trade association that serves as a resource for 21 of the 22 co-ops, actually 22 of the 23 co-ops if you count Tri-State. And we're a resource for every one of those co-ops, and we try to deliver much the same way that your team members deliver for you. What are some of the things that we do? You know, we provide safety training and safety resources for all of our members. You know, Jeff talked about, I heard him mention Colorado Country Life. That's something that we put together. We put together the shell of it, and your fantastic communications department does the local pages, is what we call them, the newsletter that keeps all of you informed, not only as to what's happening across the state, but what's happening here in your service territory. We do things like training and education for employees, for directors. We have fantastic programs. We help coordinate the Light Up the Navajo Nation. I believe Poudre Valley has sent crews. We participate. We've sponsored an international project where we help send linemen to Guatemala to help bring electricity to impoverished folks who otherwise wouldn't have it. And I know Poudre Valley REA has participated in that in the past, and it's a fantastic program, not just for those people who get electricity. It's a fantastic program for the linemen and the servicemen and everybody that get to go to attend that. And I appreciate the way that Poudre Valley has participated in that program in the past. You know, we also sponsor programs like the youth tour, where we send, I think, 20 or 21 co-ops this year are joining us for a youth tour where we send seniors in high school generally up to Washington, D.C. to learn about, you know, that fundamental part that policy making and law making and everything play in our everyday roles. They learn a little bit of something about leadership there. We also sponsor the youth tour. I think that Ethan was an example of somebody that went to our youth tour camp. And, so it's really an important part of the way we can all come together and help keep that co-op message going. And it's critically important. And it can spread, because not everybody that goes to those things, not all of the young folks that go to those programs stick around. They spread out, and as they spread out, they help carry that message everywhere they go. And I think that's an important thing that we do. But I'll tell you, one of the most important things that we do, I think, is in the legislative advocacy realm. Jeff mentioned that there was a bill that came up in the legislature that really presented a safety risk to all of the cooperative linemen out there. Well, we helped get that bill amended as best we could to minimize that risk. And Amy Rozier on the government side played a big part in that. Your grassroots advocacy played a big part in that, because as that bill was going forward, the legislator, the sponsor of that bill, had to tell us, quit telling your people to send emails. We know what they said. And so that's just a fantastic way that we can use you to help us get what we need accomplished, and we did in that instance. But I'll tell you, co-ops across Colorado have a big challenge. Jeff mentioned it with the public safety power shutoffs that are going on, because we have to address the risk of wildfires. And you guys here know something about wildfires. The Marshall Fire just a couple of years ago, wasn't that far away from here. And Excel paid $640 million to settle that claim. As good a shape as Poudre Valley REA is in, I don't know that it could withstand having to pay $640 million. That's a heavy lift, I'll tell you. And the thing is, most co-ops, I'm not sure what Poudre Valley has, but it's probably not much more than that. You can't get liability insurance for wildfires. You can only get up to about $20, maybe $25 million in liability coverage. Well, where's the rest of what happens with the rest of that? And here's the deal. We know it. I've heard Jeff say it. I've heard other folks say it. Our co-ops are one spark away from bankruptcy. The wildfire threat, the wildfire liability threat, is an existential threat, and we need to fight that. We're looking. That's one of the main things that we're trying to do, and we're pushing for it next year. We're working hard to marshal our forces to address that existential threat, to see if we can get the law changed so that we're not just automatically assumed to be negligent. We're assumed to be liable if that spark happens to come from one of our lines. Because the fact of the matter is, we can do everything we possibly can. A co-op that performs as well as Poudre Valley REA can give this their highest attention. And it doesn't matter. There could still be a spark that comes from one of our lines. And the way the law is right now, it's going to be very easy for a talented plaintiff's lawyer to get up in front of a jury and say, yeah, there was a spark, so it must have been their fault. And we've got to help change that law. We've got to increase that burden a little bit. And that's going to be tough. It's some people might say we're tilting at windmills trying to beat that. But we're gonna try it. We're gonna do our best job. But we need the help of our membership, the membership of all of our co-ops. We have a CREA helps administer a political action committee, a PAC. It's called CARE, and Rick Johnson is on that committee, so he helps us figure out what we're doing, and we've kind of changed our strategy, and actually we're already I feel like we've revived that. We have more co-op CEOs and directors and employees participating than we have had in years, and we're just getting started. But that's the kind of thing that we're going to need to do. And you know, the co-op voices, that's something that each and every one of you can do, because we're going to need grassroots help if we're going to be successful in that. And I appreciate, and maybe that's one way, you know, it's a way to protect yourself, but it's also a way to recognize the job that Poudre Valley REA is doing for you if you do what you can to help them and to help all the co-ops across the state protect against this existential threat. That's all I have. Thank you very much. I really appreciate being invited here, even if I do come from a low place.
While we have a little bit of flexibility here, again, we don't want to beat our own drum, but remember, this co-op is the lowest priced co-op in the state of Colorado, and it had a customer service survey of 92%, which is in the top 5 of the nation. So because of that, it's because of the wonderful staff and the people that are out there in the green shirts. So those are all the people that got up this morning at 3:30 this morning to get here to set this thing up. So if I could ask you for a big round of applause for all the staff. Thank you, sir. And certainly all the staff and the wonderful folks here at the Embassy Suites for allowing us to come in and spend a Saturday morning. So thank you. Thanks, Tony. You did yeoman's work there. Congratulations. Thank you for getting us through. Well, thank you all for attending Poudre Valley's 87th annual meeting. I will now ask for a motion to adjourn before we announce the election results, the Luck of the Draw Scholarship, and a grand prize winner. Would somebody give me a motion to adjourn? This is where you yell. Wow, I got a first, second, and 123 on that. Thank you. Any discussion? Upon hearing none, all those in favor of adjournment, say aye. Opposed? Now, motion passes. Thank you again, but we still have some more announcements, so before you all take off, I'd like to have the scholarship winner, and the name of the scholarship student is Margaret Luttrell. Margaret, thank you. So Margaret, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Stay, Margaret, up here. Do me a favor. Stay there, and then let's get through this, and then you can come up when we'll take a picture, we'll do the presentation, and we'll do that stuff. So congratulations. That's for $28,000. In the form of $1,000. Yeah, only $1,000. So at this time, I'd like to bring our attorney, Mike Westbrook, back up with the election results. Hey, Mike, do you have one of those buckets yet?
I don't have a bucket, but hopefully I will by the end of the meeting. The successful candidates for the 2026 election are as follows. Position L4, Rick Johnson. Position L5, Brian Ehrlich. Position BW1, Terry Willis. Congratulations.
Thanks, Mike. Our time together is coming to a close. We've really enjoyed hosting you. I do have the ability to tell you that next year's, the 2027 annual meeting will be April 10th at this very location. Embassy Suites, April 10th, 2027. Put it in your phones. So again, we've done the announcement on the scholarship. Guess I was a little ahead of myself there. Again, Margaret, we'll see you afterwards. Now the grand prize winner for the $3,000 travel voucher. I also need the winner to come up after we get through this so that we can take a picture of that person and me for the winner. So, the winner of the $3,000 travel voucher is Richard Peterson. Richard? In the back, Richard, congratulations, Richard. Again, come back up after this is all done. So congratulations. Don't forget to turn in your Co-op Voices sign-up cards as you exit. Collect your bucket on the way out. Thank you again for all taking the time today. Attend your cooperative annual meeting. Thank you.